What up? What up? What up, y'all? Friday night, every week, every game. Let me turn this music down a bit. That should be good. Every week. Well, it's only been like technically 2 weeks. I know week 0, week 1, but every game. Welcome to Noles After Dark, by the way. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. Low, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. But every game, man. Every game the ACC plays, they continue to embarrass themselves. If someone tell me I'm lying. Every game the ACC continues to embarrass themselves. I cannot wait till we are out of this shitty-ass conference. How are y'all doing tonight? I just had to open up with that. Every time I turn on an ACC matchup with somebody, they're getting the embarrassed. Either barely winning against lesser opponents or getting mud stomped by their SEC counterparts. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. The good news is that means our conference schedule is even easier than we anticipated. And we already conquered one hill. Let's see if we can conquer the other 3 hills. And maybe FSU can do something special this year, in all seriousness. Because ACC is buns. Absolutely ridiculous. What's up, KCD? Tyler Hedden was good. Jeff Almighty. Peter Shields, Vontae, Priscilla, Mr. Wolf, Demon, KCS. All right, starting to stream off live. Red Rum, the like button. Man, I heard that. Shout out to Earl Little. I saw last week FSU absorbed TBE, but haven't read what that actually entails. Any info on this? FSU absorbed the battle's end, but haven't. Oh, you read that. Share that article. I actually haven't read that. This is actually the first I'm hearing about that. My guess, though, if I'm just guessing to answer your question, and if the music is too loud, let me know. I'll turn it down some. Y'all can't hear me. But I think it probably has something to do with the actual schools paying the players now. That would be my, uneducated guess. If like that ruling that came down, like what was that, a month or so ago, about allocating what was it, $20 million or whatever that ruling was, if you guys remember. If I had to guess, KCS, that's probably what that has to do with. But thank you for the $9.99.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
ACC sucks, yeah. Every week you turn it on, they getting embarrassed, man. What's the possibility of FSU leaving the ACC? I think that's going to happen. The question is going to be when. I would say in 2 to 3 years is when I think that conversation really, is when I think that starts to get implemented. And then we can debate whether it's the SEC. SEC, I think, has the bigger matchups, and it's favorable regionally, right? We just the last 3-4 years we've watched FSU open up with LSU and now Bama. We've got Georgia coming up, not next year, but the year after. So we've had FSU open up with Ole Miss before. So those matchups are fun. Big views, big, which that it favors the SEC. But I think there's some new and fun matchups that could be in the Big Ten, right? It's you, whatever your preference is. What's up, Almighty? Taking East, yeah, taking East Texas A&M to the woodshed. Jeff with the $5. What's going on, Jeff? Thank you so much. He says, I heard that they're only going to have one portal window. I heard that too. It's the in January, right after the recruiting, which I don't know why it took this long, but that's because the NCAA is incompetent. Hold on, I feel like I unplugged my headphones. Okay, that's because the NCAA is incompetent. We've all been saying for a while how it's so hard to recruit high school players and recruit these transfer portal guys at the exact same time. And I think the players shouldn't be able to enter the portal until after. Personally, to me, it wouldn't be until what I would do. I would get rid of the spring portal. I agree with that, but I wouldn't open up I wouldn't open up the portal window until I think February. Like the first week of February is National Signing Day. That's when I wouldn't open it up until then. If it was me. But thanks for the $5, Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Great point from Tyler. Had no idea Rising Spear was still a thing. Really, in all honesty, I had zero clue. I had zero clue Rising Spear, I believe, was like the first collective. Didn't even know it was still a thing. Facts. So y'all know, man, we on Noles After Dark. Y'all know how we rock around here. Random talk. There's no need to really preview this game. I think we did a pretty decent job of that on Wednesday, where we, talked about what we expect and what we want to see in the East Texas A&M game. So, questions, comments, and concerns, let's get them out there. Players need to transfer between the fall and winter, spring semesters. I'm just thinking about it from a football standpoint. I think it benefits the programs and the coaches. One, so they can focus strictly on high school. And then whatever you miss in high school, you can target that in the portal. And you're not trying to recruit two different really types of players in the same breath. And again, you can whatever misses you had in high school, now you can kind of focus on that in the transfer portal. So I think it would benefit the coaches for sure. Bradley says, I'm not counting on USF to beat Florida. Me neither. But they played real physical against Boise. That game should be a slugfest. I'm interested in that game, though. And I'm not counting on them to beat them either. But I'll tell you this. That game's close in the fourth. Watch out. That game's close in the fourth. Watch out. I did not see the USF QB was suspended for the first half for partying. Well, USF is not serious about winning that game then, because if you suspended that man for partying in college, that's crazy. Did he get arrested or something? Like, did he do something? Did he have a Clint Trickett moment? I don't know if y'all remember Clint and what happened with him. But unless he had a Clint Trickett moment, why suspend him? Yeah, I would like to see UF beat UM or vice versa. I don't really care who beats who. Low key, I guess I would want UM to win just so that game is a battle of what we hope will be undefeated teams. So I'll go with that. Oh yeah, man. If you saw it on Twitter, always take always take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, they say Clint had Lyme disease. That was the official report. Other people say Clint was on that stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's the first time some of y'all hearing that. They say Clint was the official report was that he had Lyme disease. Other people say otherwise. Say we're going to have 35-0. Does that change your opinion of this team? No. My opinion of this team is still it's a work in progress. No, I wouldn't. I mean, they should. They should be like something like that. Something like that should be the score 28, 35, 0, something like that. No, this game doesn't go. No matter what happens in this game, barring a Jacksonville State moment, wouldn't really change my opinion of this football team personally. Saw Clint Tricker in Publix. He's in bad shape. That sucks to hear. That actually sucks to hear. Wish him. I hope he gets. I don't know what's wrong. So I don't want to speculate. But whatever is happening with him, I hope he gets better. I would. So to Briley's point on that one, I agree with Briley. Depending on what I see out of some of those younger guys, could boost my confidence a bit, at least from a depth perspective, right? But ultimately, I don't think anything that can happen. Again, barring a Jacksonville State moment, I don't think anything in this game will go to sway my opinion one way or the other. Yeah, Gus likes to run up the score on lesser opponents. He has a history of that. I'm interested to see how the game plays out. I have a feeling that in the first half they're going to work on the passing game. So that could lead to a maybe not, depending on how that passing game plays out, that could maybe if we have some hiccups in the passing game, because I think this game you want to use it to work on some things, which is okay. This isn't a situation where you're going into this like limping, right? So I believe it's okay to work on some things. Obviously, you have your starters out there, but work on the passing game because, in my opinion, you will need that passing game. You will need the passing game in some of your bigger matchups. You really didn't need it against Bama, but you can't take that Bama game and go, oh, they're just going to be able to run it down everybody's throat. You will need to pass the ball more than 14 times. So I have a feeling that in the first half they'll work on that. They'll try to get Deuce and Squirrel involved early, get them some yards. I wouldn't be surprised if TC had about 20 passes in the first half alone, just to work on it, just to get some timing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm kind of viewing that. So if you told me at halftime it was only like 24-0, I don't think that's a cause for concern. Obviously, we got to see how it plays out. And then the second half, you'll try to get out of there with no injuries. You'll start running the ball. And they will run the ball in the first half. I'm not saying they won't run the ball at all, obviously. But I think you use the first half to get TC kind of in tune with some of his receiving targets. That's my opinion. What's up, Robert? So I watched the game back, man, and I'm happy for our team, man. But if you really watch it, if Bama had a good quarterback, that game could have been different. We had so many play. Could have That game could have been very different. We had so many plays to be made. So, in my opinion, the only way a quarterback would have helped them is if it was Jalen Milrow, because the O line wasn't doing a great job. I don't think Ty Simpson played a bad game. I just don't think he was helped by his the best second, third, whatever you think Ryan Williams is. And if you remember, I talked how I didn't believe that Ryan Williams was the guy that you had the game plan for. If you remember that, but anyway, he didn't help Ty. His O line didn't help Ty. The offensive coordinator didn't help Ty because they went away from running the ball. And granted, when they did try to run the ball, we stuffed it. So I don't know. I don't know how much a different quarterback helps that, because you still had to block them. You still had to block our front four, which was getting penetration. So, you know. I feel like our defense. I don't know if that's me or the plane is extra loud right now. Jesus. I feel like our defense makes a team rely on the QB playing almost perfectly. You supplement that with the defensive line penetration, you're only going to face maybe two QBs who can really make the throws needed. A one-score game after 2 and 3 possessions because we're experimenting or working on stuff from the jump. I think they'll work on some things, and yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. After the first 2 or 3 possessions, it's only 7-0 or something like that. Wouldn't be too surprising. It's kind of what SMU did last week. That game was, I won't say it was ever in doubt, obviously. But a lot of people feel like SMU could have piled it on more. But SMU started working on things, and that game didn't, I think SMU was like a 50-something point favorite. I don't think a line's out for our game. So it might be something similar. Is it me or does James Williams look a little slow? I don't know how fast he's supposed to look being a defensive end. My only issue with James was finishing the play. The man got a ton of pressures. He was in the backfield. He just wasn't finishing sacks. So clean that up. But I don't look at James and there's no concern for me for James Williams. Just got to finish the plays. I watched none of the Florida game. James loves falling down. Bro dives for the tackle when he doesn't need to. He had a couple just sacks where I'm like, how did you not get that? Especially that one where he's coming from the behind Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson doesn't even know he's coming. And I'm like, oh, he's about to clean him up. And he just like dives at his feet and completely whiffs. And I'm like, how? Did you just get too excited? That's kind of, yeah, James got to kind of calm down and just play within himself. So we'll see. Pop Rose and Tony White got that D-line playing fast. Looks like they're keeping it simple because they're playing fast and less thinking. So, yeah, no concerns, obviously, of this game. Did he? I stopped following that guy on Twitter because he just says some ridiculous things. I mean, I still listen to all of it. A lot of kind of yeah. The only big game I'm interested in Oklahoma and Michigan. Obviously, I think that's really the only game that moves the needle. Which I mean, after a huge week one where everybody kind of plays everybody, now the teams are going to get into their soft schedule, playing a bunch of nobodies. So that's just kind of how it goes. And then once we get into conference play, it'll start picking up again. Got to get some turnovers on D. Man, we let some turnovers go against Bama. The sack where the ball comes out, it's like I think it was Elijah Herring who just wasn't looking. I was like, man, come on. We had some plays, man. We could have got some turnovers. Well, like I said, KCS before, I don't think Gus goes anywhere. I don't think Gus is interested in head coaching again. I really don't. I think I think being the play caller, being an OC, and only focusing on that is genuinely has him happy. Now, Tony, obviously, we know that's a different story. But Gus, I don't think Gus is gonna be searching for a job. Have they released the depth chart for this week? Because if they have, I haven't seen it. So is Wynn listed on the depth chart? I feel like I haven't seen a depth chart for this week. I don't know if Wynn plays or not. My guess is he probably doesn't. Right? What, you have this game and then a bye week and then the Kent State game. Definitely will play. I think he definitely plays at Kent State. I think he definitely plays at Kent State. I don't think he plays this week. Yeah, I haven't seen a depth chart either. I don't feel like they released one, which is interesting that they didn't release one for this game. I agree, Jeff. I don't think he cares. A team would have to offer him a lot of money to be a head coach again, which is never out of the realm of possibility. What year is KJ in? KJ is I want to say redshirt sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a redshirt sophomore. I have to look it up, but off the top of my head, I think he's a sophomore, redshirt sophomore. I see you. My thing is, if Norvell doesn't work out, I don't think you keep him. I don't think you keep Gus. I don't think so anyway. I think if ultimately this thing doesn't work out with Mike, I think you got to go a different. Just if Norvell doesn't work out, Tony White's probably gone at that point, and you just got to clean. You just got to clean house. That's the way I look at it anyway. What's up, Grand Champion? Yeah, he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's still kind of young in the process. So I know he had some bad reps, but that's a guy that again should play all 4 quarters tomorrow and should get better. KJ should get better with more playing time. You look at a guy like KJ and even Daniel Lyons, some of these other guys, they didn't play a lot behind these guys they didn't play a lot behind the Joshua Farmers and these guys. So they're getting their first real crack at constant playing time. So there's going to be some growing pains with those guys. It feels good to come on here and be able to talk about wins. Norvell ain't going nowhere. These two coordinators probably they've saved his job. I would say after last week, it's hard to argue with that. Daniel Lyons looked like a senior. I think Lyons is like a redshirt junior. So he kind of technically is a senior. I feel like Lyons has actually been here a while. I'm interested to see. So I'm interested to see what the linebacker room looks like for the second unit. Yeah, YouTube will. They might try. They might not. The worst I've gotten. I've never gotten a copyright strike, so I'm not too worried. We'll see what they do. They'll give me a warning, which usually means I can't monetize the video, but my super chats still go through, so no big deal. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we keep playing like we're playing and getting better and we make a playoff, that would be the biggest turnaround after last year. I wonder if the kid out of North Carolina, will he be available to play tomorrow? And it really sucks because just to keep it football, and I know Pritchard, he's dealing with more than just football right now. So I don't want to make light of that, but he was a freshman linebacker that they were praising, and I have no doubt he would have played. And it sucks that, from a football standpoint, we won't get to see what that was looking like, what that could possibly look like. And that's really tough. But I guess you'll see Parrish, probably see Jaden Parrish out there for that second unit. He was a senior, Ben. He had 1 year. So he's gone. We let number 5, Bernard, get loose in the secondary, 8 catches, 146. I mean, talent, right? You still was playing a team with talent. It was either him or Ryan Williams that was going to get those catches and those yards. And Ryan Williams had a case of the alligator arms. I don't take much of it. Like somebody was going to get some of those yards. So to me, it's not. I don't know. You gave up yards to him, but you were able to keep him out of the end zone and things like that. So I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, tomorrow you're definitely going to see like Elijah Moore, B.J. Gibson. You should probably see those guys tomorrow. You should probably see – interested to see that second unit offensive line. How does that look? That's going to be one of the things you should watch for. Lucas Simmons and Andre Otto and some of these other guys. Yeah, Ryan Williams, he didn't want to play football no more. Jones had some moments. One thing I like about our DBs, they come up and tackle. Jones got to get better at locating the ball when the ball's in the air. He had some interference, pass interferences, and that you want to clean up. But again, he's going against some talent, regardless of what happened last week. He's going against some talented guys. Brother. I think Herb stays as long as Gus decides to stay. Those two guys seem to be tied at the hip. So, um, again, all of this stuff is speculative because you just never know. And today, one of the interesting things that came up recently was we were talking. We weren't, but I was listening to. I forget, man. It might have been the Nolecast. But I forget what show I was watching. And they were just talking about coaching, and they were talking about how teams aren't in today's day with the NIL and the fact that to wield a competitive roster, you're talking at a minimum 15, 20 million just to field that roster. A lot of schools, we talk about firing guys all the time. A lot of schools aren't like, because I think they were talking about firing DeBoer, which is a $70 million investment just to fire him. That's not accounting for the investment for the next year's roster, the investment for the next coach. You're talking about like $100 million and more turnaround for Bama if they were to get rid of DeBoer after this year. The point is, these programs are more inclined now to kind of just let some of these coaches ride out contracts because you have a choice to make. And that choice becomes we are either going to invest in our roster now or we're going to invest in our coaching staff. A lot of times it's just cheaper to keep her, as they say. My favorite linebacker Saturday. It's a good question, man. But it's got to be Juice. I think that's the only – Juice got to be – I mean, Blake played a good game too, but I think it's got to be Juice Cryer, man. Juice, Tribal War Juice Cryer looked good. Bama boosters are crazy enough to do it. I don't know. From everything I'm listening to, Bama isn't as Bama doesn't have the equity for $70 million, from what I understand. I don't know. I don't know if Bama actually does it, to be quite honest with you. If he's bad enough, they may very well go that route. But we'll see. Nobody talking in the national media how all of our coaches on both offense and defense been together, and that's continuity. Well, to your point, yeah. So, but when you bring in coordinators, you usually do bring in the guys that the coordinators have worked with. So on defense, Tony brought with him Stewart and Knighton, and then on the other side, Gus brings with him Herb and Harris. And so, yeah, you do have some continuity there on both sides of the ball from a coaching staff standpoint. Polk, I would love to see Kalen DeLoach and Jamie in this Tony White defense. That would have been a perfect fit. Hey, man, I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial. Earl Little might end up better than Jamie, bro. Don't sleep on it. Earl might end up better. What's the long term for Pat? Good question. I don't know, man. The thing with Surtain is he's been a good recruiter. Now for him, it's kind of like Atkins at the time when we were talking about Atkins. Obviously, in retrospect, Atkins was a complete disaster. And again, he should be held in front of a firing squad. But neither here nor there. Pat is recruiting well. Now let's see, can he get some of his guys? Like, I know he got Ronaldo drafted. He got Jerry, but those guys, he didn't recruit those guys. Even AZ, that was a Woodson recruit. I think the next step for Pat is going to be his guys getting them to the league, and that will you might start talking about a team trying to poach him or something like that. Yeah, I got a little some, a little some. Some Remy in there. It's been absolutely hilarious watching Bama fans whine over a few L's. Now all of a sudden everyone knows a booster saying there's a cultural problem, and only that's what happens. We see what happens. Talking about it at Florida State for some years. The bad stuff never comes to fruition until the bad stuff happens. Now all of a sudden the Bower is undisciplined. He's guys aren't following curfew and ordering fast food. All this. In a way, I believe. Not saying it's not true. I don't know. It's a bit of a hit job. You start getting those things out there, so when it's time to fire a guy, it's justified in a way, I guess. Nah, because it was a straight snake oil salesman, man. We played them. We just played them out of position. They were trying to make them a nickel, and it didn't work out. But we played them. Well, what I'll say about that, Almighty, is, and I always say this when it comes to coaching, coaching is so much more about fit in college football than it is about what you've accomplished. And one of the knocks I had on the DeBoer hire from jump, and everybody was talking about his resume, and I got it, man. He's a winner. But he doesn't stay at schools long, and coming to Bama, I never thought he was a fit. I think fit matters when you're talking about being a head coach. Like right now, DeBoer is, up until this point, and we'll see how this season plays out. Obviously, we'll see how he navigates the rest of the season. DeBoer's been living off the Alabama allure, Alabama luster. Is he going to be able to still recruit these Bama kids after some bad losses? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I was never sure he was a fit, and we're going to see. Edwin is for sure. I think you're right. I think Jabril Rawls is too. Again, just got to get him to the league, and let's see what happens. Yeah, because everything's good when – that's what I keep telling – that's what I've been saying. Nobody cares about nothing when you're winning games, man. As soon as you start losing games, they will nitpick. Same thing I was saying about Norvell. I don't care about whatever the criticisms were from Mike, and I had my fair share. We don't need to dive into them. But when you start winning games, man, people shut up. People shut up. Do you ever watch any other Big Three channels on YouTube? I watch some. I've stopped watching them as much as I used to. I still tune into certain channels, though. Channels that I value, they're even if I don't agree with everything they say. There's like the Noles. I still listen to some channels. I even tune into War Chant, believe it or not, every now and then. Yeah, I believe so. I think that's going to be huge. Bro, at this point, I'm not even sure I care. At this point, I don't even like. There was speculation. Um, and I will not speak on the rumor that was out there because I have no way to confirm it, and it's unfair to speak on something because of what the rumor is. I just don't think it was fair for without any proof. So Ben, I'm not gonna say it on the camera. But I'm pretty sure there's people in the chat that know what I'm talking about. So for me, in fairness to Destin Hill, I just won't talk about what kept him out. There was speculation bro was a favorite. I mean, that's what I was saying. I didn't even know if he was a real person at one point. What is West Virginia considered? I feel like West Virginia is considered the South. When I think of West Virginia, I think of hillbillies. So I don't know if that's considered the Midwest. I don't know what West Virginia is considered. Vontae said you got about 4 more hours at work. Take a shot for your boy. Say less. If you're drinking on anything, have a quick drink for your boy. Excuse me, for your boy Vontae. Yeah, it's Appalachia for sure. Not the South, not the Midwest. Right. That's how I feel. West Virginia is Southern culturally, so it's kind of like that's the South, right? Take it how you. I don't know. I don't know what you want to call West Virginia, to be quite honest with you. But like when I hear West Virginia, I think of hillbillies. Right or wrong, that's the first thing I think of. I think of like the hills have eyes type stuff. You still see that wolf teeth? Man, screw Dustin Hill. He stabbed Mike in the back when every other coach would have. I mean, y'all know my thoughts on that when he decided to transfer. I wasn't a fan of the decision. But, we'll see what happens with him over there at LSU. West Virginia is next to Ohio, and Pennsylvania is definitely not the South. West Virginia is more southern. I've never been to West Virginia. I've been to Virginia plenty of times. In Virginia, which is considered the South, I completely agree with Tyler. It is not Virginia. At least the major cities in Virginia that I've been to, like Newport News or Virginia Beach or Richmond, like no Southern vibes in that state. I've always wondered how Virginia got that title of being in the South. Never really understood it. Hills Have Eyes in the Desert in New Mexico, man. Hey, is that movie in New Mexico? Hey, that's just how I feel about West Virginia. Again, it is what it is. Plenty of rednecks in the Midwest. True. There's plenty of different people everywhere you go, to be quite honest with you. So that's fair. And I think, I can't speak for rednecks, but I think they would tell you there's a difference between a redneck and a hillbilly. So, yeah. Are we doing a geography lesson? I don't know. We're just talking random stuff right now, Jeff. Virginia definitely to me is East Coast vibes. Virginia to me is definitely like, Virginia's right outside. I mean, that's the DMV area to me, and I've been to Washington. I've been up and through there. Definitely East Coast vibes there. So if West Virginia is the South, what is Oklahoma? To me, that's like the West. Like it's like Texas is so big. Speaking from somebody who's lived in Texas for a long time, different parts of Texas give different vibes. I would say East Texas is more of that southern vibe. When then if you, the further west in Texas you go, the more you get, you know, just that cowboy vibe. You know, Stetsons and Spurs and boots. The further west you go in Texas, I would call Oklahoma in that mold. You know, cowboy ranches, horses, cattle, that type of stuff. And yes, we're having a geography lesson here tonight. Brandon says, I want to see us dominate and show no mercy tomorrow. What about you? I agree. I want to see us dominate for sure. The no mercy thing, that can be up to interpretation because I believe you should use tomorrow to work on some things for future games. So it might not look like when you say show no mercy, I don't know if they're gonna I don't know how long the starters are gonna play. You know, once you put those backups in and you start working on the things that you're trying to work on, it could kind of look like you're showing mercy when in actuality you're just running your offense to see what's what guys are good at and what guys aren't good at. Texas ain't the South. Texas is its own thing. I mean, that's fair. Texas is split. I agree. I just living here. Like I said, you East Texas gives the South vibes, like Houston, all of that. And then once you move past that Central Texas line, like Dallas, which Dallas is an interesting city in its own right, but I would say Dallas to me gives South vibes. And once you move past that, again, now you're like in the West. And when I say West, I don't mean like California West. I mean like old cowboy movies, the old Western flicks, that type of vibe. I mean, you guys are really wanting to talk about the states tonight. You think Arch is saying, I'm glad FSU is back? He didn't get near the heat I thought he would after that performance in the shoe. Probably. And he still got a lot of heat. But you're right. That Bama game stole all headlines from Arch. Hasn't been any real updates in the recruiting. I mean, other than that with that win, a lot of recruits are talking, but ultimately, I mean, it's all talk. No one's really pulled the trigger. No, right now I'm in the desert. I'm in El Paso. I'm in Mexico, literally. Yeah, South Texas, El Paso, Little Mexico. San Antonio is also like Mexico. How's the food in Texas? Where I'm at right now, man, El Paso, I mean, again, I'm literally, I could walk in the backyard and there's Mexico. So authentic Mexican food. And I'm not even a big Mexican food fan, but the authentic stuff. When you get further east in Texas, from where, like I'm in I'm in the west of Texas, and as far west as you can get. New Mexico was like an hour that way. When you get East Texas, it's like Tex-Mex. Nah, but over here, Mexican food's pretty good. Yeah, it's geography night, man. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on. I am in, bro. I'm telling you, I'm in El Paso. I'm literally in Mexico. I heard. I've heard. I actually gonna check that out so my kids can see snow, like real snow. But I've heard a lot of good things about New Mexico actually, from the casinos which I gotta go hang out in a casino, and I heard they got a pretty decent ski resort. So I have heard about that, Ben. Who has more Spanish people, Texas or Florida? I'm gonna say Texas, because I mean I know South Florida is a little different. Speaking of South Florida, y'all heard what just came on there, but I mean Texas just has Mexicans everywhere. Whereas once you start going north in Florida, you get less of the Cubans and all of that. You saying East Texas A&M and some Southern boys were cooked? Nah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Yeah. I love it. I love the fact that we just talking randomly about the state. Yeah, Florida has its pockets of Spanish people. So, like, if you go to Orlando, man, like Orlando's full of Puerto Ricans. I don't know why all the Puerto Ricans are in Orlando. That's where all the Puerto Ricans are. And then the further south you go in Florida, obviously, like I say, there's more Spanish. But Texas just has them everywhere. I mean, it's literally, right there on the border. Texas, we just trash. Leave it to Almighty to give us our marijuana plug. If Bama ditched a Bower, they probably want Lanning. That would be huge dollars and bad news for FSU recruiting. We need to hope Bama starts winning some games. So here's the thing. Again, I talked about a little earlier. I agree with you in the sense that if you fired the Bower early in his contract, you can't then go hire whoever, right? It's got to be a big name coach. The problem is the investment of money. That's a $70 million buyout for DeBoer. How much you think Oregon's paying Lanning? Bama's going to have to pay Lanning's buyout. How much you think Lanning's buyout is? You're talking, if to target a guy like Dan Lanning, you're talking about a $200 million investment alone just on coach, not taking into account the roster that now you're going to have to flip in favor for what Dan Lanning wants. Now, can Lanning try to get some guys on the cheap? Maybe. But I wouldn't guarantee that. These kids today want to get paid. I think the Bower is here for another 2 years. When I say here, I mean at Tuscaloosa for another 2 years. I don't think it's as simple as it used to be, where you would just fire a guy. Like, they've been talking about it all week. That Jimbo Fisher thing is an anomaly. I don't think teams are going to do that anymore. The investment's just too high. Seen a poll, who's more influential to Florida? It's not even a conversation. And to be frank with you, I don't even really like the new Kodak. I like his old stuff, but if you grew up in Florida, and if you're of where I'm from and where some of y'all are from, that Plies hit Florida like a wave. It was a different time. It was a different time. I don't know why so many Puerto Ricans in New York. Actually, I had it explained to me once. If you look at where Puerto Rico is positioned at on the map, if you go straight up, it goes straight to New York. The best answer I can give you. I'd be curious to see what Kiffin's buyout is. Would Lanning leave Oregon for Bama? I would say right now, no. Here's the thing with Oregon, and Oregon has a history of this when it comes to their head coaches. Good program, wins a lot of games. Oregon can't get over the hump. How long before Lanning decides I can't win here? I got to go somewhere else. That would be the question I would think Lanning would ask himself. At what point would Lanning look at the job in Oregon and say, man, I just can't get over the hump here and try to go to one of these southern schools? Lanning's buyout's only $20 million. That's actually not bad. If DeBoer gets fired, they go and get Gruden's getting a lot of hype here recently. I would not be surprised if Gruden made a college football try. John Gruden has been getting – there's been a lot of talk about John Gruden lately. Appreciate that, man. Go have fun for me. Yeah, but I didn't, I'm a little older. So by the time Kodak got big, I was already grown. So for me, the other guy is the guy I grew up on. So it's just a different conversation for different age groups, quite honestly. By the time Yak was out, I was in my 30s. Plies came out when I was a teenager. Bama fans and collectives putting all their cash together to hit the Powerball. They hit the Powerball, they can get them up out of there. That's a good question. I don't know how old Gruden is. I have to Google it. Kiffin buyout is 36 to 44 based on incentives. Again, that's another big investment. It's crazy to me that Oregon can't put it together. It feels like they'll get one. It feels like it. I agree with you. It feels like it's only a matter of time. If you want to talk about one of those programs that's never won one, that could possibly get over the hump, Oregon's always at the top of that list. But they just like last year. If you would have told me last year Oregon was going to get over the hump, I would have said, okay, they undefeated regular season. They were looking like the real deal. And then they ran into that buzzsaw that was Ohio State. Ohio State had a generational run in that playoff, just a crazy run. And now it's like, well, damn, if you couldn't get it done last year, I don't know, can you get it done, to be frank? He's a Gator fan, so I hate that funny looking dude. Gruden 62. I'm watching Bama. We need him to do well. I don't really – in a 12-team playoff, I don't think much stock holds up into that. Like, I don't really care if Bama does well. I think, FSU just got to take care of business, and you're going to be in the playoff. Plus, y'all know that stuff don't even matter. We beat LSU, and they had the Heisman, and they did well. I mean, they weren't an SEC champion, but best receiver, Biletnikoff winner, Heisman winner, and they still robbed us. So, I don't even know. Because I want to say just take care of business, but we've already been shown that doesn't help. Taking care of business to get you screwed. So hoping Bama does well, maybe that is the only hope, Peter with the $10 says, what score makes you happy by halftime? I say 35. I'm not really looking at it like that, Peter. I'm looking at it. about how they play the game, not so much what the score is. I'm not one of these people that's looking at it and go, if FSU doesn't score 50 or something like that, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm more so looking at, okay, I'm still looking at how they execute. How does it look when the starter's in? Then once you get, what are you working on? Because again, I stand on it. This team is not a finished product. We cannot let Bama game get us into this false sense of security. Continue to work. Continue to, and you can use this game again to work on the passing game, get more kind of in sync there, work on some other things, whatever the staff feels that they need to work on. So I'm not really looking at a score and I'm going, yeah, if they don't hit this mark, I'm disappointed. No, just win the game. Obviously, win the game comfortably. But if you told me the final score of this game was like 42-3 or something, or 42-10, that wouldn't disappoint me, personally. Who's your top 5 best coaches in college football right now? Wait a minute. I got to get Peter Shields, and then I'll come to you.
More money. More money.
Now, KC says top 5 best coaches in college football right now. How are we basing? I don't know. What's the criteria here? It's hard for me to kind of put. So if you go with a combination of what their teams look like in this moment, we'll say I'm going to go within the past 5 years, because when you're talking coaching, you kind of got to take into the whole kind of resume that they've built. So Kirby Smart, Dabo Swinney, right? And these are just guys who have won multiple natties and continue to produce teams at a high level. Lanning's probably in that mix. Then it kind of gets interesting, because after I think those top 3, then it kind of is about preference. Like, Ryan Day's a national champion, but would you put Ryan Day in that mix? I'm not so sure I would. Then you got a guy like Marcus Freeman. You got guys like Matt Campbell, Franklin. So, I mean, Lane would be in the discussion, I think, even though he's never won it. I mean, what he's doing at Ole Miss, I mean, that's Ole Miss, so it's not like there's a pedigree there. You can kind of, I think after the first 3, you can go with a mix of the next 2, but I would say Lanning, Kirby, and Dabo should probably be the top 3 guys. If you got a different top 3, that's fine, because in a lot of ways it's subjective. But those are the 3, especially the first 2, that have shown they can do it and do it at the highest of levels, and not just one off, but multiple. Like, they've consistently done it at the highest of levels. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. When's the last time Gruden coached? Last time Gruden coached wasn't he? Didn't he have a stint with the Las Vegas Raiders at one point? Like, did they bring him back? I know he was the coach of the Raiders years ago, but didn't they bring him back recently? I feel like they did. College and the pros is such a different animal. I don't know what. There's a few NFL coaches maybe that I think, because you have to be invested in the recruiting aspect of college, and a lot of these pro coaches, they're used to dealing with grown men. They're not used to dealing with 17-year-old prima donnas. So I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. Sark, yeah, you could throw Sark in there. There's guys you can definitely throw in there. That's kind of my kind of preference. Oh man, Jeff is back at it. He says, "Yeah, same. I'm looking at home. They play with focus, and I'm looking for to have freshmen. Yeah, and because I think you're going to get a good dose of freshmen, that's why I'm not so heavy on the whole what's the score looking like. KCS, I don't even know if I gave you a video. So before I hit Jeff up, let's hit KCS up.
I'm in Tallahassee on with the Seminoles. I've been getting to this paper, focus on my goals. Trying to run this money up and pull up in the road. All these talking gangster, that shit getting old.
Now let's get Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
On that Louisville uh, 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 JMU game. What's that looking like? I think you could say that about a lot of the NFL coaches. And that's fair point in terms of actually like winning hardware. I mean, he's won some conference championships, right? But in terms of winning the big one, sure. But again, once you get past Dabo and Kirby, there's no national champions in college football. The guy who's winning them all is retired. Again, if you want to throw Ryan Day in there because he won one, be my guest. I'm not the biggest Ryan Day guy. So when you get past Kirby and Dabo, there's room for landing because no matter who you name in the top five, almighty, none of them have won anything, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. What's some other national championship coaches that are out there? Because they're not out there. You'll put Day in front of Lanning, fair. Is Mike in the top 10? After going 2-10, Mike has to work his way. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know if Mike's in the top 10. You want to put Mike in the top 25, we can talk that. But top 10, can you name a top 10 coach that has a 2-10 record on their resume in year 5? Not 2-10 in the first year they took over a program or something like that, but 2-10 in a year 4 or 5. I don't know if you can. So for me, no, Mike Norvell's not a top 10 coach. Kirby, Day, Franklin, Dabo. Okay. Brian Kelly and Lanning on the same level. You think Brian Kelly and Lanning are on the same level? That's probably a fair assessment. But Brian Kelly's a guy who, again, you could mention in the top 5. I don't necessarily think Brian Kelly's a top 5 coach. I would probably say Brian Kelly's a top 10 coach, though. Kirby, Dabo, Day, Franklin at 4. I don't know because I can't put Lanning over Brian Kelly. Okay, that's fair. I need that more. Okay. You ask and you shall receive, my friend. Kiffin is better than Sark. What makes Sark so good? I think Sark lost in that Ohio State game, to be fair. That's what I'm saying. But you guys are kind of making my point with all these other coaches we're naming. We can name the Sarks and the Kiffins and whoever. But again, it's all preference. It's all, at that point, it's all just opinion because they all have similar resumes, if we're being quite honest with you. They all have similar resumes. It's those top guys for me, those national championship winning head coaches. After that, take your pick of who you like, I guess. Or Billy come out? I don't know. I don't think Billy's better than Mike. So, yeah, nah. Since we're staying on coaches, I watched that War Chant coach speak just to hear from Miranda, and I thought it was an AI voice. That guy lost it bad. Lanning got youth on his side. He's going to be good for a while. And that's kind of where I'm at with Lanning. Tyler has a great point. You're talking about all these other coaches. Lanning's the youngest of the bunch, and he's winning at a very high clip. And again, Oregon feels like they're right on the edge. So, that's kind of where I'm at with Lanning. One, young, energetic, a guy who's proving it. Like Dan Lanning, to me, is a top 5 coach. Where at in the top 5, we can debate it. To me, he would probably be 3. Just like Tupac, and I went back. How would you rank the big 3 coaches? Ooh. You guys put me in a tough spot. How do we want to classify this? X's and O's, recruiting, or the total package? Because I think if we go, so hear me out. Let's start with recruiting. If out of the big 3, Mario's the number 1. Billy's honestly number 2. And quite frankly, Mike's kind of a distant third when we talk about just acquiring talent. Look at what Billy's recruited over there. Look at what Mario's recruited. Look what Mike's recruited. I think that's fair. If we talk X's and O's, I think Mike's ahead of Mario's last, Billy's second, and I think Mike clears those other 2 fairly easy as far as play calling and all that, because that's what Mike does. Billy's never been a good play caller to me, and I know he does that as well. And Mario, I'm not even sure knows what a playbook looks like. Then if you go to situational, like game situations, that's a tough one because they all have their downs. I will give credit to Mike Norvell from this standpoint. He plays to win. I still go back to that call last week on that 4th down inside your 30. Big nuts. Because if Mike doesn't get that and Bama ties it up, like that's a whole different. We could be having a whole different conversation on Mike Norvell. But even with that, at least he's playing to win. Whereas you look at Mario and Billy, they just have mental lapses in terms of clock management, in terms of just understanding the feel of a football game. Those 2 just have mental lapses, like just baffling, dumb decisions. So given those 4 categories I just listed, Mike was number 1 and 2. Mike Norvell's the best head coach in the state of Florida. I think it goes Mike, Mario, Billy. But tough. I don't think. Again, they all 3 of them have their kind of ups and downs there. So you can take that for what it's worth. What Mike has Mike also has a conference championship. Neither one of those other coaches have that. Undefeated regular season goes into Mike Norvell. So as of right now, I believe Mike has had more players drafted. So I think a lot of things are going in Mike's favor. But Miami has a chance to, in terms of players drafted, see how that works out, especially for them this year, along the O-lines and D-lines. But yeah, given those categories that I listed out, I would say Mike has the nod. Billy A. White version of Taggart with much better coordinators, in my opinion. Mario 22 and 16, Napier 1919, Mike 34 and 27. We all watched the same FSU media for the most part. But there was a report that came out of UGA that Kirby might be close to hanging it up, spend more time with family. Man's been in the game a minute. That's interesting. That's actually my first hearing that. If Kirby was this, that would be the best case. That'd be the best news for all the Florida schools. Having Bama in the dumps relative to where they've been, and Kirby Smart deciding on a whim, you know what? I'm done coaching, which I have to see that to believe it. I don't necessarily believe it. That opens up the state of Florida again. I think with Bama going down the toilet, and again, I'll say that loosely, because Bama's not necessarily going down the toilet. We'll see how the season plays out. But the state of Florida has to take advantage of the surrounding states struggling. Not saying Georgia's struggling, because they're not struggling. But if Kirby decides to call it, hey, I think what's Miami's coordinator's name? Dawson, I think. I think Dawson and Malzahn is a good conversation to have. I like some of the stuff that Dawson drew up against Notre Dame, how he gets the underneath passing game involved. I think that's a real conversation. Tony White clears all the defensive coordinators. Not even close. Not even close. Tony White clears all the defensive coordinators. But I think Dawson and Gus is a real conversation you could have. RAPSTR. John, you can keep saying that. Call me when Billy wins the 8. Not Billy, I'm sorry. Call me when this guy. Call me when the loser wins the ACC. When I say down the toilet, I mean, again, it's relative to where they've been. I agree with you. I wouldn't call Bama down the toilet. That's harsh. But speaking to where they were for the past 20 years, they're just another school now. That's good for FSU. That t-shirt, yeah, mask strap. I'm in a wait and see mode, man, when it comes to South Carolina. I talked about South Carolina before. They're my SEC sleeper, and that's because they have. I talked about it, I think on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Might have been Wednesday. They just have some freaks on that squad, like athletic specimens. But can they put it together and win the SEC? Now I don't know about that. They got some players on that team. Just use your head. Yeah, so there's that. That's a good question, though. If Billy has the talent, we're going to find out a little bit about Florida. I believe we're going to find out a little bit about Florida tomorrow. I really believe that. We're going to find out a little bit about the Gators tomorrow. If Bama and Georgia come back to reality, LSU will run the SEC. Dawson is a QB guru. Is he? Based on what? Because please don't tell me Cam Ward. Cam Ward was Cam Ward before Dawson ever got his hands on him. So please don't tell me he's a QB guru because of Cam Ward. And as for Carson Beck goes, that remains to be seen. Carson Beck also was lost 4 games in his entire career. Granted, that's at Georgia where he's surrounded by elite talent. We'll see what happens with Carson Beck. But calling Dawson a QB guru, could please tell me what QBs he's put in the NFL? You cannot put that title on a guy that has put 0 quarterbacks in the NFL. And again, don't give me Cam Ward. Cam Ward was Cam Ward, no matter what school he went to. Cam Ward was Cam Ward at Washington State. So, not give me a quarterback that this QB guru, how many quarterbacks does Dawson have in the NFL right now? Jimbo was a quarterback guru. Christian Ponder. Jimbo had a run of first-round quarterbacks. Where's Dawson's run of quarterbacks? Come on, Zay. You just be saying stuff sometimes, man. I think TVD is still in college. That's what I'm saying. Jimbo deserves the title of quarterback guru. Lincoln Riley deserves the title of quarterback guru. Those are quarterback gurus. They've got a resume to back it. Dawson is not that. Now, you can Google it, Zay, and tell me how many quarterbacks Dawson. Just Google it. Don't even tell me how many he's put in the league. Google it and tell me Dawson's most notable quarterbacks. You ain't got to tell me who's in the NFL or not. I don't care. Just give me 3 quarterbacks, not named Cam Ward, that Dawson has coached, that everybody in the chat would know. When you just say their name and we would know who they are. Is he at SMU? The second string at SMU? I know he's still in college. I didn't know what college he was at, though. Yeah, TVD's still in college, man. That man went from being a Heisman candidate, to still in college. After one game, in your opinion, who has the better defense between FSU and Miami? Bain is unblockable. Okay, so Zay's not going to answer my quarterback question because, of course, there's no answer to that question. I get it. Anyway, to answer Almighty's question, I still haven't seen Miami secondary tested. And Miami had some bust against a freshman quarterback at Notre Dame. I like Miami's front, though, and I like FSU's front. I'm going to go with I'm a cop out, and I'm going to just – because FSU, I mean, even our secondary, I mean, we gave up 154 yards to one player. If I'm just being fair, non-biased, I call it a push. We'll see as the games go on. But after one game, I would say FSU and Miami's defenses both look very similar. Man, we can't keep acknowledging these Mario worshipers. Mario's best coach ever, and Miami's best team every year. And let's keep moving. Miami's defense is getting ready to self-destruct in the next couple of. We'll see. I don't. They play Bethune this week, so that's going to be a blowout. They'll blow Bethune-Cookman out. Miami does before we get to see them. They play USF and they play Florida, so we'll have we will have a clearer picture of Miami for sure by the time they come to Tallahassee. Right, Antoine. That quarterback couldn't really test the secondary, and that's why I'm saying I'll just go with a clean push for now. I like the pieces that Miami has up front. And of course, I love our pieces that we have up front. Okay, so Zay says Geno Smith. Dawson coached Geno at West Virginia, did he? Okay. There's one. Who else for the quarterback guru? I don't cry no more. Who got a better O line? I'm not gonna hold you here. I love the way our O line played, but I would go Miami's. I don't know how. Similar things were said about Notre Dame's front and Bama's front in terms of these are supposed to be two really good fronts, and both O lines did their thing. But Maui Go was a top 10 pick. FSU, I don't believe, has a top 10 pick on that O-line. Pettis has the best, chance to be like a first-round caliber offensive lineman. I would take Miami. I'm not gonna hold you on that one. I'll be honest with you. I like Miami's O-line. That O-line's for real. From what I saw in game one anyway, that O-line. I called it the Great Wall of China. Beck had all the time in the world to do whatever he wanted to do. And that's not a knock on Florida State's O-line, because I thought we played great. I'll be back, Polk. Got to call my girl. Ain't responding in a minute. All right, Ben, don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble now. Miami can't stop no running quarterback, and that's why FSU wins 36-17. Peter says perfect for Miami. Perfect Miami in the back. Talk about the music, yeah. Alabama O-line. Theoretically, in theory, but Proctor's not better than Maui Goa. I'll tell you that right now. That's just me, though. Jay says we need to calm down. Game film reveals so many holes in the defense. I don't like the spot drop zones. She getting cooked. She. If you mean who I think you mean, Shaheem? Yeah, we pointed Shaheem out. When we play Miami, our defensive line, I think that's where Tony is going to have to do the blitz packages and different. Yeah, I think Tony's going to try to keep it vanilla until Miami because I think you're going to need it. I'd agree with that, Robert. Yeah, Pat White doesn't. Good college player, but come on. Pat White isn't a. Come on, that's not quarterback guru, bro. Come on, don't do that. Good college player. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he was rated higher, but again, I'm just Vontae. I get it. My eyes. Maui Go's a better player than Proctor. Who's got better wide receivers? FSU Miami. Miami has that one kid Tony. I think he's a freshman too. He looked pretty good, man. But Miami's going to throw the ball more. I don't know if that's a fair talent for talent. I like our guys. I really do. I think talent for talent. I like Deuce, Squirrel, Boggs, in the bunch. They play two different offenses. So Miami's receivers will probably get a little bit more opportunities. But Almighty, I like our receiving group, to be quite honest with you. I like our receiving group better than Miami's. I like our tight ends. I like Pittman a lot. Who said Callahan's girl was getting cracked? Y'all. Who said that? Did I missed that comment? I damn sure missed that comment. I just saw Callahan say he's about to go call his girl. Oh, Jay says she's getting cracked. Okay, I'm off. My bad. Y'all leave that man alone. That man. Y'all ain't shit, boy. I like our, I can start being biased when we start talking about tight ends and linebackers because I like our guys. I don't even know Miami's linebackers outside of Basaint. But much like our linebackers, I believe Miami's linebackers are going to look good because the D-line is going to make their job easier. Coming from a Vol fan, Tennessee fan in the building. That look really good. I know Tennessee liked the fact that we beat Bama. All right, Zay, you got it. QB guru. Yeah, I was off. I thought he was talking about Shaheem. No, he's talking about Ben's girl. That's crazy. What's up, Momo? And I like our secondary better than Miami's, in case you were going to ask that. And again, I don't think Miami secondary has even been tested yet. And then who has the better quarterback? Ooh. Again, two guys that are going to be asked to do vastly different things. For Gus's system, obviously, TC's he fits the bill. TC's not going to be asked to throw 30 times like Carson Beck is going to be asked. And Carson Beck ain't going to be asked to run the ball 20 times like TC's going to be asked. So it's – how do you want me to answer that? Who has the better quarterback for their system? I would say Thomas Castellanos. Who has the better NFL prospect quarterback? Well, that's obviously Carson Beck. Again, so take that how you want to take it. I like the guy, and I know I've been hard on TC all off season, and that's fine. I like T after the poise that TC played with. If he plays like that, hey, he's gonna hear nothing out of me. But Grillmaster kind of says it like just appear like if you're an NFL scout, you're looking at Carson Beck, right? Bo Hunting says the FSU team looks a lot like the team that went undefeated. Talking about 23 team. Interesting. What's your score prediction tomorrow? I haven't really gave one. I'm going to say, if you told me they win 50-something to whatever, I could see it. If you told me Gus likes to get into the 60s on these types of teams, I could see that. I would I'm gonna be a little bit more reserved, and I'm gonna say 45-10 tomorrow. 45-10. And I actually think we start off a little slow because I think we're going to try to pass the ball early in the game. Only because, damn brains. I think we're only because I think they're going to try to work on the passing game early. So yeah, I think we might start off a little slow, but I think 45-10 is the score that I'm kind of looking at. If we don't score more than 35, I'm worried. I expect we had 31 against a Bama team. I think we'll get more than 35. $62-7. Yeah, I think Gus is going to air it out simply because I think that's the team that you want to work on a passing game. And then, like I said, you got to get your receivers involved. You can't ask them to block. FSU ran the ball 50 times against Bama. You can't ask them guys to block 50 times and not get them some passes. So I think tomorrow you work on the passing game a little bit because we know we're going to be able to run the ball when we want to run it. So we're going to work on it. I think we'll start off a little slow, work the passing game early, try to get the receivers involved, and then maybe you get up 14, something like that, and then you start running the ball and get out of there. I would like to see a shutout too. But again, Tyler, I think with the amount of freshmen that we anticipate to play, especially in the second half, if you told me that them boys got some garbage points, wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, a shutout sounds good. But FSU is going to be heavy in the rotation, I expect. And, those younger players are going to have some bust. There's going to be some things. And I don't think Mike's ever pitched a shutout. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there, but I don't think Mike Norvell's ever pitched a shutout. When do we sit TC? He shouldn't play past the second quarter. I wouldn't play him past the second quarter. Do you think we can sustain the physicality all season? I do. And I spoke on that on the instant reaction. Like, I think I spoke on it on Wednesday. That type of effort is something that Tony White, and I'm, strictly speaking on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, that O-line showed their physicality and they've showed their will, or as well. But Tony's going to demand that. I don't think there's any question that if he sees you playing subpar, he's just going to pull you. Hell, he pulled James Williams after the first drive. Tony White pulled James Williams for I want to say that second series against Bama. I don't believe James Williams got a snap because James he didn't have any edge. He wasn't containing the edge. So I think that type of tenacity that they played with, I think you'll see that all year. Ben, is your girl good? I don't want to get in your business, but I think people in the chat were kind of concerned about your girl, man. She all right? In the styrofoam. Get on my ball. On the dash. Since Pittman is injured, does that mean, I think you're going to see a lot more Landon Thomas, Pittman. You probably even see some Lofton. They're pretty deep at tight end. So, yeah, I think you'll see all the tight ends. Marcus and Douglas played a decent amount of snaps in that Bama game, actually. So you'll see Marcus and Douglas. But, yeah, I expect to see Amari and Landon and all of those guys. And, yeah, D-Jack, that man played 55 snaps. Getting Kevin Wynn back is going to be important. It was good to see that Darrell Jackson is ready to go. 55 snaps for a 350-pounder is huge, literally and figuratively. You probably don't want him taking all of those snaps, obviously, for the entire season. He needs to be fresh so he can eat up the blocks. Light him up says Mike is definitely a top 10 coach. Y'all leave Ben alone now. All right, she hanging out with the girls. She good. Y'all leave Ben alone. I love that video. Players can try, and players again. Tony White holds them to the stand. That was one of my biggest takeaways from Bama game. Tony White is going to hold them to a standard, 100%. This is Zay's way of saying I'm a little bit worried about that Danzy kid. Hanging out with the girls, huh? Yeah. I think Zay's a little bit worried about Danzy. Danzy's another guy, man. I'm interested to see how we talk about wide receivers. We only really saw Danzy, on those reverses. See if he gets out there and runs some routes. See if you can get the ball in his hands over top. Danzy's another player that you got to watch all season. I think that's the guy that they will continue to try to get in that offense more and more. Can't coach speed. He has effortless speed. Effortless. Yeah, he's literally Olympic level speed for sure. 100%. Lucas has that great speed too. Lucas definitely has it. And Squirrel. Yeah, I know Dancy got him shaking. But he doesn't have – here's the thing about Lucas, and you kind of saw it in the wheel route. He was able to get – I won't say walked out. He didn't get walked out because the guy had an angle on him. I'm gonna say, in my opinion, that play had went to Danzy, he would have erased that angle. He would have erased. It would have looked like. No, I agree. Danzy's faster. I'm not saying. Hear me out. If Danzy had got the same play that Lucas got, remember Whitfield and the kick return against Auburn? It would have looked like that. It would have looked like that. FSU to score 56. Yeah, no one's catching Danzy. Yeah, I don't think so. Danzy would have housed it. But Lucas has speed too. There's not a team on our schedule that that has DBs that'll be able to keep up with Danzy, especially if he's in an open field. Good luck. No, bro, don't compare Danzy. I'm not comparing them as players. I'm comparing that play and that angle that the Auburn player had that just got erased by Whitfield. I'm saying that would have looked like the same thing. Come on now. I expect Chroma should play all four quarters. In my opinion, John. Chroma should play all four quarters. You do know you can scheme around that. Remember, there will be no doubt, right? But here's what you gotta ask yourself, Zay. How much of that FSU schedule isn't like Miami schedule early on? Simply meaning there's not a I don't believe Gus is gonna really have to dig into his playbook in any of these games. There's going to be stuff that he does in the Miami game that y'all just haven't seen on tape yet. You're going to have to go look at probably old Auburn stuff to get a guess at what Gus is going to throw at you. And then you can scheme up whatever you want to scheme up, to be frank with you. Speed is speed, bro. You don't think people had tape on Randy Moss? But you couldn't account for, 4-3. So KCS with the $9.99 says straight speeds, eh? Hit them with that Mario poke. You got one from that Middle Tennessee game. I don't have one from the Middle Tennessee game, but I got the Mario for you. And one of the things that impressed me the most about Danzy was the fact the way he was breaking. It wasn't just the speed with Danzy. Danzy was breaking tackles. So he's not just a one-trick pony where get him in open field and he's gonna make something happen. He can break he was breaking Bama had their hands on him and he was running straight through it. So for me, Danzy might be the total package. Cam was supposed to be next man up. Zay says he loves it. You should love it. Santa play on the band. Who's more goofy, Mario or Carson Beck? I don't know. Carson Beck looked pretty goofy. Hey, there you go. Worried about the wrong things, eh? Them Gators are coming to town. Might want to be worried about that one. Did Louisville end up winning or losing? Let me check that score real quick. Louisville ended up winning. Still embarrassing. Carson Beck, a funny looking dude. Zay says, wait a minute, y'all got to stop us too. Facts. That's why they play the game. I was just answering your questions. What you think, Zay? You think the Gators are just gonna come in there and lay down? Or y'all not worried about the Gators? Zay acting like he ain't worried about the Gators. No worry from Zay and the Gators. Gators straight. I'll see what they do against USF. Let's do this. Let's take a look at tomorrow's slate of games. I haven't really looked at it. I like it when you do it. Chargers beat the Chiefs to start the season off, by the way. Just quickie, you can even slide the bickies. I might drop my box and when I'm in my Nikes on. All right. I'm going to pick some games here for tomorrow. First game on deck is Penn State and FIU. Penn State's a 42.5 favorite. Yeah, I think everybody's going to pick Penn State there. So we don't need to spend too much time on that one. What y'all's thoughts? Penn State, FIU. Who we got? Beat you down. Penn State, FIU. Who you got? I mean, obviously it's Penn State, but who knows? Somebody might pick FIU in an upset. After the Penn State FIU game, you got Texas and San Jose State. Look for Texas to bounce back. Ed says he's got Penn State, but they don't cover. Okay. I agree, Antoine. It's not a game. Texas and San Jose State. Texas is a, hold on a second, 36.5 point favorite for Texas against San Jose State. Obviously, I got Texas. And that game, I think Penn State covers against FIU. I don't think Texas covers this one. I got to see more from Arch. That offense did not look good. Granted, Ohio State's got a legit defense, big-time defense over there in Columbus. I don't think Texas covers here. I don't know how good San Jose State is. San Jose State, they're 0-1. They lost to Central Michigan 16-14 in game one. But I just have a feeling that Texas doesn't cover the 36.5. What's y'all thoughts on Texas, San Jose State? KCS doesn't think Penn State covers either. Okay. Texas is going to try to run up the score. Do you think Texas will cover? That's fair. I can see Texas trying to run up the score. Then you got Duke and Illinois. That's an interesting game. Duke and Illinois. Illinois is number 11 in the country. How the hell is Illinois that high up? I don't know. I talk about how the ACC continues to get embarrassed, but Illinois is only a 2.5 point favorite, and Duke is at home. So I'm going to pick Duke in an upset here. I'm going to say Duke upsets Illinois. Thoughts on Duke versus Illinois? I like Duke. I like Duke to upset Illinois here. Jeff's got Duke. Dangbay's got Duke. Move Illinois to the ACC. I think Duke upsets Illinois. I think that's going to be Duke's QBs for real. Illinois went 11-1 last year. Returned a lot of players. I got Illinois. Okay. KCS got Illinois. I don't know. I think I like Duke in the upset. Then you got Florida State, East Texas. We're not even going to go over that one. Iowa State and Iowa. Iowa State beat Kansas State to start the season off. Iowa's 1-0 with a 34-7 win over Albany. This one's kind of a tough one. Iowa is a 3.5-point favorite at home. I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes. I think I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes. I think the Hawkeyes might pull an upset too against Iowa State. What's y'all's thoughts? Antoine's got Illinois. Duke looked like hot dog water last week. I'm with Illinois. Zay has Illinois. Momo says Illinois. Jeff's got Iowa. I got Iowa too. I got Iowa. Okay, so we all think Iowa State. I believe Iowa won last year. Payback of Mo. Okay, I think I like the Hawkeyes there. Baylor and SMU. This is another interesting game. SMU is only a 2.5-point favorite at home against Baylor. I picked Duke against Illinois. I am going to go. This one's a tough one. Baylor's defense could not contain Auburn. But Baylor threw the ball, man. They were I kind of want to pick Baylor in this game. I kind of want to pick Baylor. SMU 2.5-point favorite at home. What do y'all think? I am going to go with I'm going to go with SMU. I'll go with SMU, but I'm not confident in my pick there. But I will go with SMU. Jeff says he's got Baylor, SMU. They got the quarterback. Vontae's got SMU. KCS says SMU. Aranda done lost his mind. Baylor upset. Can SMU run the ball? I want SMU, but Baylor might edge them. It's a rivalry, right? SMU wins. They were just trying things last week. Momo's got SMU. Poll's second favorite team, Baylor. Where do you keep getting that from? That's not my second favorite team. I'm going to go with SMU too, but I'm not confident in that. Indiana, Kennesaw State. We'll go with Indiana. Indiana's a 35.5-point favorite. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to pick Indiana here. So I got Indiana. Won't waste too much time on that one. Texas Tech and Kent State. We play Kent State. Texas Tech is a 48.5-point favorite. I got Texas Tech. Kent State's no good, so that's an easy one right there. Minnesota, Northwestern State. We'll take Minnesota. Virginia, NC State. Now, this is an interesting game because FSU plays both of these teams. I did not think NC State looked great against East Carolina. Virginia won comfortably against Coastal, 48-7. NC State at home. NC State is a 3.5 point favorite at home. Oh, that's an interesting game. NC State and Virginia is really interesting. What do you guys think? We got NC State, Virginia by 2 touchdowns. I don't know what Virginia looks like. Heard they had some injuries, so I'm picking NC State. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward NC State too. Part of me wants to pick Virginia just so, that Virginia game looks a little better. I'll go with NC State. Virginia has Chad Morris. NC State by 10. Virginia's trash. Okay. And then I'm going to skip some of these games because some of these games are just pointless to talk about. Like Ohio State and Grambling. Yeesh. Why would Grambling sign up for that? That's going to be a bloodbath. Georgia, Austin Peay. Oklahoma State and Oregon could be interesting. Oregon is a 27.5 point favorite. I'm definitely going to go with Oregon here. I'm going to go with Oregon. But I'm going to go with Oregon, but I don't know. Maybe Oregon doesn't cover. Maybe Oregon doesn't cover. Looking at some of these other games. And then a lot of these other games, man, aren't. I'm trying to see. Arizona State and Mississippi State. That's an interesting game. Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt is an interesting game. Va-Tech's only a 2.5 point favorite at home. Michigan State, Boston College. Michigan State's a 3.5 favorite. And then you got the big one, Oklahoma, Michigan. Right now, OU 4.5 point favorite at home over Michigan. I like Oklahoma. They got the more veteran quarterback. They're at home. Michigan's got the freshman who might be all world, all talented, but he's still a freshman going into Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I think, should win this game. I'm going to go with Oklahoma on that one. Yeah, this week isn't the greatest. Arizona State plays Mississippi State. Bama is favored by, 35.5 over UNL Monroe. We slid them out after we took them in. Yeah, we had the cookies in. Bama should cover. They should cover. Jeff's picking Michigan. Zay says go blue. Oklahoma. Yeah, I think that's the difference to me. I think Mateer is the real deal as well. So I think that's the difference in that game. And that's really it. UCLA, UNLV could be an interesting game to watch. UCLA's a 1.5 point favorite on the road. So UCLA did not look good last week. I stayed up to watch that one. Utah put belt to ass on UCLA. But UNLV didn't look much better, though I believe they won. But after having such an explosive offense last year, UNLV won 38-21 against Sam Houston and 38-31 against Idaho State. So we'll see what UNLV looks like against UCLA. That could be a little fun game to watch. Bet the house on Bama to cover. Yeah, I think Bama covers too. I think Bama covers. Bama should come out mad. Bama should cover. If they don't, it's not going to get any easier for DeBoer. They won't lose this game, but if you don't cover, Nico his cheeks. Yeah, Nico didn't look too hot. But UCLA as a whole team didn't look hot. But that's UNLV. Could be a little fun West Coast game to watch right there. And that's really the real slate of games. Week 2 is kind of the cupcake week. Right now we got Boise State versus East Washington. I think that game is actually going on right now. Boise State's whooping ass, 44-7, with 6 minutes left there. And I didn't talk about Florida yet. I actually forgot about that game. I think Florida is an 18.5-point favorite. Hold on, let me go back to that. I think Florida's an 18.5-point favorite at home. I don't think Florida covers. I think that game is close for 4 quarters. I ultimately do think Florida wins it, but I don't think they win by 18. Yeah, Florida and USF. I think I said UCF. I meant USF. Yeah, Florida's an 18.5-point favorite. I got Florida in the dog fight. They're going to win it, but I got that one being a dog fight. Florida will not cover. USF covers, yeah. I think USF covers and UF wins. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that too. I think that could be a very interesting game. I got Duke in the upset. And then got Miami and Bethune. No line for that game, at least not one I can see. But Miami should win that one fairly easily. The North Carolina and Charlotte. That could be a sneaky good game because how terrible North Carolina is. North Carolina is a 13.5-point favorite on the road, but I wouldn't bet on that game. If you're a betting man, I would stay clear of that game. I would not bet on that game at all. Illinois is going to smoke Duke. Charlotte for the win. I mean, that's what I'm like. I wouldn't bet on that game, man. I would. If Dangby says Belichick could get him right, okay, we'll see. Who does TCU even play? I didn't even look to see it. Who's TCU play? TCU might have a bye week. I don't see them on the schedule. Yeah, I don't see TCU. Missouri and Kansas is another interesting game. I I skipped over that one. Missouri's a 5.5 point favorite at home, but that game could be fairly interesting too. Clemson and Troy. Clemson's a 31.5 point favorite. And yeah, it looks like TCU has a bye week. That was Zay. Colorado plays Delaware. Delaware State. One of the new. They moved up from the FCS. Delaware State. Colorado should win that fairly easily. Bethune will cover. But yeah, Colorado should win that one fairly easily. Got Texas A&M, Utah State. A&M's a 32.5 point favorite. Utah State beat UTEP last week 28-16. Could be an interesting game. I don't necessarily know. Colorado, yeah. The reports out of UNC during the summer seem accurate. This might be a downfall to UNC football from ever being mediocre again. Let me tell you what UNC needs to do. They need to play Max Johnson and never put that boy Sergio, Gigi Lopez, whatever his name is. They better not ever put him back in the game. That guy sucks. I know he played at Alabama State and he was good there, but that's Alabama State. They need to go with Max Johnson at North Carolina and let him try to win as many games as possible. Do not put Gigi Lopez back in the game. You're just asking for trouble if you do that. To clarify that straight speed. Middle Tennessee was straight speed, huh, Zay? Bill is over his head. Bill came for the check. Bill came for that check. Bill better watch his girlfriend. Bill got a 20-year-old girlfriend over there with a bunch of college kids. He better watch his girlfriend. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. So yeah, man, tomorrow's gonna be a chill day. Michigan, Oklahoma's the big one, but outside of that, you got a few interesting games. Don't get me wrong. If you like college football, there's a few interesting games for you, but not the slate that we had last week. Last week was crazy. Just had games all throughout the day. This one, obviously, we'll watch our Noles. It's a noon kickoff, so that's going to be an early game. And then you can check out the Michigan game. And then after that, man, go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bill came for the check in the cheeks. Which game you'll be at? The Florida State game, Momo? I heard we sold out this game, which is awesome. I think Duke is going to upset Illinois, for sure. And then some of those other games, yeah, you could probably see a couple of those mid-tier ranked teams. Some of those mid-tier ranked teams are playing. They're playing some dangerous games. User. That's good, though. It's good to see that you put all that money into the stadium. Let's start selling it out. A shout out to FSU for getting that field ready. It played good and looked clean all game. I thought the end zone faded. I didn't think the end zone, and I love the fact that they with the I want them to go back to the white end zones. That would be dope. But they decided to go the garnet end zones. But it probably had the rain and all that. I didn't think the end zones looked clean by the time the game was over. Personally, y'all try to. If you're trying to get tickets to FSU Miami, you might want to start trying to get them now. Might want to get them now. Nation. Debating on either buying Madden or 2K. If I was you, I'd save your money on both. That's just me. I'm gonna need them to go back to the old logo. I don't know why they changed it. Well, that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna go back to that. But I think we all, the new logo has grown on me. So. Yeah, I wouldn't waste my money on 2K is the same thing, Momo. 2K is becoming the exact same thing. Where it's the same game every year. I wouldn't spend money on either of them. That's just me. But I can't tell you how to spend your money, Zay. And unfortunately, I believe college football is going to start turning into that. Do I like the new college football game? Yes. Is it vastly different from last year? Absolutely not. Single player games are the new way. For me, I've always been more into the single player type, adventure games. I play a little bit of all of it. The Powerball on 1.8. I think college football is a good game, Demon. I enjoy it. I play it a lot. I play a little bit of everything, though. GTA is going to be huge, but that ain't coming out till next year. For me, the game I'm looking for this year, I don't know if y'all played. I don't know if I have any gamers in here. I don't know if y'all played Ghost of Tsushima, but that new Ghost of Yotai or whatever. That's the game I'm waiting on. Yeah, I'll be doing a little halftime report for sure. DayZ, I've never played it. Heard about it though. Is Chroma the most natural running back we've had since Cam Akers? I would argue that Cam Akers wasn't a natural running back. Cam Akers is very similar. Cam Akers is a better athlete, right? Cam Akers is very similar to Cam Davis. They were both high school quarterbacks. Cam Akers was a better athlete than Cam Davis, which is why he made a transition a little bit better. But Chrome was one of the better running back prospects we've had in a long time. because they are. Again, the ACC continues to embarrass themselves. Yes, Louisville looked absolutely buns tonight. It's hard for me to put a finger on, like, I don't want to compare him to anybody, but he's one of the better guys we've had in a while. Did anyone play the new Japanese Assassin's Creed? It looked good in the commercials. It was I played it, solid game for what it's worth. Not terrible like people make you believe, but I mean, if you played one Assassin's Creed, that's another franchise that is almost the same every game, just with a different setting. So if you played the other Assassin's Creed, it's all the same. But it was a good game, solid story. Nothing super crazy about it. I haven't played Tony Hawk but when I was a kid, man, Tony Hawk was the shit. And I've never played a skate game. Never played that. Chroma, he's very physical, but I want to see how quick he is when it gets in the open field. I heard Ricky Williams comparisons for Chroma. I got to see more of Chroma before I go Ricky Williams, but I'm interested to see. Again, I think he should play all 4 quarters. Chroma should have close to 100 yards. I think Hitman and Mafia games are the best games out as of recently. Like I say, I play a little bit of everything. So right now I'm playing a lot of college football for my sports. For my that new Battlefield looks pretty good. I haven't played a Call of Duty in a while because Call of Duty is another franchise that to me is. But right now, I'm playing college football 26, and I'm playing. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a game called Path of Exile. I play that. That game's pretty fun. It's like Diablo if you've ever played that. And then I'm playing Monster Hunter Wilds. I like that game. I get to kill big monsters. That shit's fun. Those are the 3 games that I'm playing on, and that's really just me waiting on this new Ghost game. Have I played Oblivion Remastered? Yeah, I've played it. I didn't finish it, but I played it. I played Oblivion when I was in like middle school, so it was kind of cool to see that game get a remaster. But I didn't finish it, but I did play it. Almighty says we'll have a 1,000-yard rusher. Unless a guy emerges that we're just gonna start feeding. Like if game 1 was any indication, I'm not so sure that we get a 1,000-yard rusher. As of right now, I don't know if I'm gonna get Battlefield 6, but I might. It looks pretty good right now. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. That's a masterpiece of a game. We know Path of Exiles. Yeah, I've been playing Path of Exiles. I'm having fun with that one. I used to love Mortal Kombat, but this last Mortal Kombat, absolutely, the most recent one, didn't like it. But I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Mortal Kombat, Injustice, love the Injustice games. Tekken, of course. I'm actually thinking about. I don't have it, but I'm thinking about getting Street Fighter 6. I hear a lot of good things about it, and it's been out for a couple years. I hear Street Fighter 6 is actually pretty decent. Yeah, Glow. This is the only Glorilla song I like, by the way. Yeah, they're coming out with a Street Fighter movie too. With Roman Reigns is playing Akuma, Cody Rhodes is playing Guile. I'll check out that Street Fighter game. Doom and Duke Nukem were some of my favorites. The new Doom game, I haven't played that one, but I heard pretty decent stuff about Doom. Ermac and Quan Chi. I'm a Sub Zero guy. I get Sub Zero and I'm gonna clean the house. And then no, Noob Saibot. Those are my two characters in Mortal Kombat: Noob Saibot and Sub Zero. All night. Yes. Street Fighter movies were terrible. I mean, John Claude Van Damme played Guy. A Frenchman played an American. Just was terrible. Yes, the old Street Fighter movie is one of those cheesy. I know about Ninja Gaiden. I haven't played a lot of those games, but I know about them. 007, of course. You're talking all-time classics now. The last Mortal Kombat I did not like. Did not like at all. The Golden Gun, bro. The Golden Gun and the Laser Gun, because the Laser Gun you could shoot through stuff. Those are the two guns in GoldenEye. I don't have. I mean, I have a Twitch where my Twitch is linked to this stuff. So when I live stream on here, I live stream on Twitch. My Twitch channel. I think the link is in the not in the description of this video, but I think it's in the description of my channel. Would you believe me if I said I'm alone? And we are. I do have a Twitch though. I don't really Twitch a lot of games. Zay, I'll take you to town with Sub Zero. Stop it. Let me see if I can post my Twitch link in here. Would you believe me if I said I'm alone? Here, let me. Yeah. See, y'all got me doing my Twitch stuff. But this is why I like Noles After Dark, man, because we just talk about a lot of different stuff. I have fun with this stuff. All night. All night. Okay, hold on. Let me up all night. Give me 1 second because I can't see the chat. I'm trying to log into my Twitch because I'm always on Twitch. But my Twitch is called 863 Seminole TV as well. So anyway. Favorite movie? Oh man. Shoot. Any other Equalizers? The Dark Knight, Django. Those are probably like my favorite movies. Yeah, those are probably my favorite. Yep, Killer Instinct. My favorite character on Tekken used to be Eddie. Love the old wrestling games, bro. Coach Carter's a real good one. Coach Carter's a good one. I mean, my favorite, you say all about the Benjamins. My favorite Friday is Friday After Next. I think Friday After Next is the best Friday, personally. Okay. Do you ride a dirt bike or anything? Favorite movie Friday and Scarface. Scarface is a classic. Yeah, my favorite Friday is Friday After Next. I think that's the best Friday. And then, yeah, Tekken is the one with King. King is King. King is the leopard man or the tiger. Oh, is King a leopard or tiger? I don't know. A jaguar. King might be a jaguar. I think it's a jaguar, actually. But yeah, that's Tekken. First Friday was the best. First Friday, you can't go wrong with that. Friday After Next is my favorite. Yeah, he's talking about King. I think King's a jaguar because I think his character is like Mexican or something. Man, we talking about a little bit of everything. I don't think I'm being. Am I being? I'm not being philosophical. We're just talking about what's favorites. And Yoshimitsu, I used to use him a lot in Tekken too. The ninja, the ghost, like the skeleton ninja. Yoshimitsu, that was my guy. That's all back when gaming was. Yeah, there you go, Yoshimitsu, man. Trying to tell you, Yoshimitsu. Yeah, he's a Mexican wrestler, so that's why I think he's a jaguar. If you don't know, there are jaguars in Mexico. Top flight security in the world, Craig. Favorite underrated movie is Juice. Favorite underrated movie. What do you consider? What do you consider underrated? Uh, yeah, Chiefs loss. How do you feel about this new scary movie coming out? I don't think it'll be good. I think they'll try too hard to push the envelope and it won't be funny. Here's the question: are the Wayans brothers in charge of it? If the Wayans brothers are in charge of it, it'll be all right. It'll be what we fell in love with. Dead Presidents is a good one. One of my favorite movies that has the movie all the way up until the ending is almost perfect. One of the most underrated movies, but the ending kills the movie. Law Abiding Citizen. Gerald Butler is one of my favorite actors. Colors was a great movie. I agree. Law Abiding Citizen. Amazing movie. And then the ending. Everybody knows in that movie, Gerald Butler should have won, not Jamie Foxx. Another one of my favorite movies is Olympus Has Fallen. Awesome movie. Yeah, Law Abiding Citizens, amazing movie. It just the end sucks. New Jack City, another classic. Harlem Nights, gotta have Harlem Nights on there. One of my favorite movies, Harlem Nights. Life. I don't think about Law Abiding Citizen is I hate the way it ended. Terrible ending. Paid in full. Have I ever watched In the Army Now? I don't know if I ever seen that one. Players Club. Speaking of music, yes. Yeah, Ben. I like Pooh Shiesty and these guys. You know, I go back though. I like 3-6 Mafia. I like 3-6 old 3-6 Mafia too. No, we don't watch Tyler Perry over here. Tyler trash. Tyler Perry. If you like Tyler Perry movies, that's more power to you. I'm good on Tyler Perry. Life is that shit though, man. Here's a question. What is a terrible movie, but it's like you're guilty? Like the movie's terrible, but you enjoy it. That's a good question. I don't think everybody has. If you haven't watched Full Metal Jacket, there's a problem, right? But what is a terrible movie that you know the movie just like sucks, but you enjoy it? Coming to America? Not the first Coming to America. You've lost your mind, Joe. Yeah, that's a terrible take. Coming to America is trash. Now, Coming to America 2, yeah, I wasn't a fan. But Coming to America is not trash. You lost your mind. You think Top Gun sucked? I don't think Top Gun's a bad movie. Terrible movies, I Down the Hill for, Soul Plane, and All About the Benjamins. Problem Child 2, Spider-Man 3. You like Spider-Man 3, Ben? I can't get jiggy with you. I can't get jiggy with you. So for me, a terrible movie that I enjoy watching, and I could watch this movie all the time. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is actually a pretty good one, Antoine. I'm with you on that. Movie's trash, but I could watch it. I could watch it over and over. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie Crank with Jason Statham. Guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know why. I just like that movie. I just like that movie. Crank. Pieces, a horrible, sleazy slasher film, but I love it. I've never heard of it. I can't get jiggy with Spider-Man 3, though. But if you ever watch Crank, man, I don't know why. Don't judge me. I just think that's a fun popcorn movie. And then I like the old Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I wouldn't call them trash movies, but I don't know if they age that well. But like Bloodsport, man, I love that movie. And Kickboxer, the first one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. What's up, Brandon? Man, Brandon, we in here just talking a bunch of BS. I ain't gonna lie to you. We just kicking it. Cabin in the Woods is a bad, good movie, fun with friends. Who's y'all's favorite actor? Here's a good question. Who's y'all's favorite actor? Who do y'all think is the best actor out there? The Interview. Bone Collector was an off-the-wall horror film, but I liked it. What about Power? Yeah, everybody loves Denzel. Yeah, it's unanimous. Everybody's gonna say Denzel. Denzel's that dude. Pacino's great too. Pacino is great. Clifton Powell is amazing. He's an amazing. The only problem with Clifton Powell is he kind of plays the same character in every movie, right? But Clifton Powell's amazing. I like Clifton Powell a lot. But he's kind of the same guy. Other than Pinky. Pinky's the only character where he's kind of different. But a lot of times Clifton Powell's kind of like the same guy in every movie. Leonardo's the man too, man. But Denzel's the man. It's cool to see somebody say Clifton Powell. Samuel L's that guy, of course. I personally, I think Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. And I think I don't know his name, but he's the guy that plays the German in Django, and he plays the German in the other Tarantino movie, Inglorious Bastards. That dude's amazing, amazing actor. What is his name? I don't even know his name, but that guy, I love that guy. That guy's incredible. Denzel and Django. Denzel wasn't in Django. Would have been kind of cool to see Denzel and Django though. Pulp Fiction, that's one of my favorite movies too. I forgot to mention Pulp Fiction. Ali's good too. Christoph Waltz, that guy's incredible, man. Christoph Waltz is incredible. Love Christoph Waltz. Tupac was the man. Christoph Waltz is incredible, dang, 100%. Love that dude. Russell Crowe played Gladiator. Gladiator was amazing. Joaquin Phoenix is in Gladiator. He was the Emperor. Man, y'all don't sleep on Joaquin Phoenix, man. I don't know when Denzel. I don't know why. He said, okay, you meant Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, Denzel was not in Django. But yeah, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson is the man. And then, I mean, I know we all kind of don't. Corey, you late. We done covered it. We just been bullshitting. We talked about the game in the first hour. We were going on hour 3. My bad, Corey. Ain't no much breakdown we need for East Texas A&M, so we just been kicking it, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. No, I like Idris. I don't think he's overrated. I'm not sure what people rate him, but I don't think he's overrated. I mean, I know we don't like him. I was about to say this. But, I mean, you got to give some credit to Will Smith. Will Smith has a good range on him. He's kind of, he's a cornball these days. But there was a time when Will Smith was being talked about as the best actor in Hollywood. The Wire was definitely a good show. Yeah, the shows aren't the same. Boondocks might be my favorite, what would you classify Boondocks as? Satire? Like, Boondocks was a brilliant. It's funny, obviously, but if you actually understand the messages that they're portraying in Boondocks is a very brilliant show. Boondocks is an amazing show, obviously because it's funny, but it's also brilliant. It's also brilliant. Yes, Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness was amazing. 100% agree with you. Yeah, go for it, bro. You ain't got to ask. You want to talk NFL? Like, we've been talking movies, games. Go for it. NFL, what you got for me? Will Smith had the opportunity and the skill. In my opinion, arguably the best. He had everything Let me tell you what ruined. Let me tell you what happened to Will Smith before the slap. He turned down, according to him, right? He turned down movies that he had no business turning down for. Like, honestly, I think like the Wild Wild West killed Will Smith, and then he would have a movie like I Am Legend, but he wouldn't follow that. Like Hancock wasn't a good movie. It's like for every movie that Will Smith would drop where you would go, okay, he'd come back with something that you were like, what is this? That movie he had with his son, that sci-fi movie, I forget the name of that. That movie wasn't any good. Will Smith he had too much of this. Where Denzel just hit after hit after hit. Will Smith was doing this crap. He was, But from a talent perspective, Will Smith had a chance to be the GOAT. You like Hancock, and Hancock sucked. But I get it, guilty pleasure movie, and nothing wrong with that. Who do you got winning each division in the NFL? Ooh, put me on the spot. Shout out to Chadwick for sure. Is ahead of his time. Boom. I just love shows like the Boondocks. Because Boondocks is talking about stuff now. Boondocks was just so ahead of his time. Again, very brilliant show. What is that? Let's see close to this. But who do I got winning each division in the NFL? Let's see here. I would say the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. Even though, the Cowboys probably should have won that game. Hard for me to go against the Eagles. In the AFC East, got to go with Buffalo, right? AFC North. I'm going to go with Baltimore. AFC South. AFC South, interesting. I think I'm going to go with Houston. AFC West. I know Kansas City lost tonight. Chargers. Do I trust the Chargers, though? It's hard for me to pick against the Chiefs. NFC East, I already said the Eagles. NFC North. Interesting division there. I'm going to go with the Packers. NFC South. I'm going to go with the Bucks. And then the NFC West, I'm going with the Rams. Of course you got the Jags winning the South. No. Got the Redskins winning the East. Solid pick. The Boondocks is just good stuff. Chiefs got that Super Bowl hangover. It's just hard for me to pick against the Chiefs. I don't know if I trust the Chargers, and I'm pretty sure I don't trust any other team in that division with the Chiefs. I can't trust the Raiders or the Broncos. Kind of the Chiefs by default. You got the Lions. Okay, I think the Packers. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the Packers for that. But I was thinking about the Lions too. Oh, but that's all I got for you tonight, y'all. We did 3 hours on the Noles After Dark, so I'm going to get on up out of here. Good stuff tonight, man. We talked about everything. Movies, video games, anything, you named it. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, share the video. Y'all know the deal. And then tomorrow we're gonna watch this game. I'll be going live during halftime. And I probably will do. I'm gonna go live for sure after the game, but I don't think I'm gonna do like a. It'd probably be. It won't be a long live because I don't expect. There shouldn't be. See this face? There shouldn't be anything really to talk about after tomorrow's game. So I'll do it live, but it'll probably be. Well, it won't be super long. Um, but yeah, that's all I got tonight, guys. All bases definitely was covered tonight. And if you like more streams like this, just let me know. But as always, it's your boy POLK on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles, and we are out here. Go Noles. That's true. 100% started with a geography. Man, we covered everything tonight. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's night.